Welcome back to the Eric Krown Crypto channel. Wishing you a happy and healthy start to this nice, actually very summery Tuesday morning over here from Helsinki, Finland. I wanted to follow up on yesterday's short-term time frame price action analysis that we had on yesterday's video, and then also maybe talk about some fun stuff as well. So with that in mind, I want to remind everyone before I get into it that on Instagram there's a ton of scammers over there. I get messages about this like every day, so I feel like it's my I should talk about this to make sure that no one gets hurt by this. But basically, if you're getting DMs from any account that looks similar to mine, I can assure you it is not me. I don't have any sort of secret trading group. But what we did do yesterday on Instagram was actually kind of fun because we put out a poll for the community, basically suggesting, basically seeing are we more moon boyish or doom boyish? Basically, the idea was Bitcoin most likely to go to 100,000 first or 10,000 first? And funnily enough, the results are actually somewhat even, which is pretty cool to see in a community, like a rather diverse community. So if I were to give my own opinion on that, I actually don't really think of it in terms of that, or at least the way that I think of it is in terms of optionality. So if you're talking about the next year and a half to 2 years, I'd say 10,000 probably more likely. But if we get on further from that time without actually going to $10,000, or Bitcoin going to $10,000, I should say, then I actually do look at $100,000 as being, a lot more relevant. Anyways, with that in mind, I will swing back here a little bit later for this analysis, but now we should follow up on yesterday's short-term time frame analysis, of which I think we recorded yesterday's video somewhere right around here, when Bitcoin was just kind of freshly breaking out, saying that, hey, Bitcoin likely to test somewhere around the blue box that we have right here. We ever so slightly grazed that area in the, I guess, late afternoon for myself over here in Finland. And what happened after that? Well, what happened after that will amaze you. Now, some Binance news came out, and ultimately the validation for upside continuation, while I actually did think was somewhat likely within that event, was not hit. This is why validations are very, very important. And of course, they can kind of keep you safe in situations like this. The upside validation for continuation to those $33,500 and $35,500 targets was based off of a tick above last week's high, which is 32,455. Got a bit of dyslexia going on right here, but ultimately that was obviously not hit. And then the validation for a short-term local high was hit, which was a closure below about 30,800 right on over here, that 0.5 Fibonacci, of which that definitely got hit, or just a move back down below there realistically. Which was going to give a move all the way back down to the bottoms of the range. Couldn't have told you it was going to happen that fast, or what that was going to be based off of. But hey, there you go. We're back in the eternal range for life, baby. Anyways, with that in mind, what does that kind of look like for today? Well, the question is, do we get another bounce off of this blue box territory right here, basically between about 28.9 to 29,000 bucks, coming in from the gap that we had from about 27th to 28th of May of last month. And I think it would be somewhat likely, but as we're going to discuss, a lot of things have shifted on the higher term timeframes, which are now going to goose the probabilities in favor, of course, of downside continuation. The most important thing that happened in the last day, though, is that we have yet again another lower high right here. So this is really shaping up to be a redistribution, but just because it is redistribution doesn't mean that Bitcoin can't get another bounce off of here. And so if Bitcoin is going to get another bounce off of here, of which we probably are looking for a short-term corrective move based off of the extremely extreme highs that we're seeing on hourly BBWP, so only short-term timeframes, then I'd be looking at a Fibonacci retracement right here, of which we can see some areas of interest to the upside. We got the 382 at about 30,000, we got the 0.5 at 30,400 or so, and then the 618 basically around yesterday's breakdown, which was, or I guess it was this morning's breakdown, but 30,750 or so. So those would be the areas that I'd be watching for. But of course, any sort of move around these regions plus a reversal would just be another lower high, obviously. So that is to say that as we're going to go over in a second here, as long as Bitcoin's below yesterday's high, especially on a medium time frame closing basis, a lot more likely to break to the downside than the upside. But at the end of the day, it is a range. So my validation for upside continuation, or upside reversal, actually in this case, would now be moved down from last week's high to just a closure on a medium term time frame above yesterday's high. Possible, but maybe not the most probable thing to happen right now. So let's go reference our indicators over here and just see what's up right now. As we do see on the daily, We have quite the setup right here. We have hidden bearish divergence forming, which will be confirmed with any sort of a closure below yesterday's low, which was 29,820. It's a long day left to go, obviously, 14 hours, 14 minutes, and 57 seconds, but, you know, should be aware of that. And then also we have extremely low BBWP. So the expansion phase from this, you know, still looking at about a 20% move from that. But the direction to be decided. And here's the kicker with this, or the maybe like the encompassing factor, which would be the daily stochastic momentum, of which, yes, that was up until, well, today. It's gonna have a chance to cross the downside on closure today in that 14 hours and 40 or so something, or sorry, 14 hours and 14 minutes or so session. And any sort of a closure below 31,300, and yes, it will turn to the downside with very, very low BBWP. RSI hidden bearish divergence also confirmed, plus another lower high. And also rejection of the bearish, or sorry, not the bearish, but the bullish control zone in this case as well. All three of those things, not a good trifecta for Bulls, Anguses in this case. Anyways, the question is, what would the target be? Or first, how would you confirm a breakdown? Because all those signals, you know, don't necessarily confirm a breakdown by themselves, but be the same thing as before. Basically need to see a closure, preferably on a higher term time frame below the bottom end of this blue box, which is like 28.9 or so. At that point, yes, I do think Bitcoin, you know, probably retests around the lows sooner rather than later. As before, I was kind of thinking, we probably put in a bear market rally first and then come down. Turns out the bear market rally might have only been up to, you know, just under 32,000 bucks. So anyways, yes. So if that does happen, yeah, I would be looking for that move, or that 20% move basically to happen to the downside. So somewhere around basically our current lows, 26,000 bucks, if you will, in, you know, about a week or two after following that, or maybe even sooner, who the hell knows. But at the end of the day, that's what I'd be looking for in that particular situation. I also want to call out this as well, the funding rates over here. So we've been posting this very frequently on Twitter because it's been like hilarious. It's just been hilariously accurate. Yesterday I posted out when it was slightly positive over here, saying that, hey, Bitcoin's probably found a short-term local high and comes back down to range. And I couldn't have told you it was going to happen that soon. Or that deep in this case as well, that soon, but hey, that is what we got. And what's also interesting about this at this current moment in time is that it's actually 0%. So it is, technically speaking, the highest funding rates we've seen while simultaneously being at the bottom side of the range. So, you know, would that be more on the bear side or the bullish side? Kind of neutral, but I suppose a little more on the bear side, obviously. Still, at the end of the day, I need to see an actual confirmed breakdown. I suspect also that if we do take a Fibonacci extension, we could probably also plot that target somewhere down. I'd imagine we got something around, yep, we got the 2 spot right around about 26.3, and we got the 2 spot 272 at 25.615. So, you know, those kind of be the areas of interest, but stops along the way, of course, you know, somewhere around the 1 spot 618, very, very likely, and 28.200 at the 1 spot 272. So yeah, anyways, let's see. Okay, so we've gone through all of that. And I think that's a good place to kind of leave off on this one. I feel like, yeah, kind of a short and an easy day today, I guess, all things considered. I think most people are probably not even watching this market right now anyway. So fair enough, man. If you're still here, well, I'll be here with you because I don't have anything better to do. But I actually do truly enjoy it, man. So yeah, with that said, I should probably remind you about, well, we already spoke about Instagram, Bybit. I got a Bybit chill link. What else? I think that's it, man. I think that's it. All right. Have a great day. I'm going to be signing off now. Want to wish you well. Take care and see you hopefully soon.